It's the third week of October in Missouri. Things are starting to get chilly, but there's a little bit of good weather left. And I'm headed south from Columbia, Missouri, down to the Ozarks. I'm going to take this camera along with me and show you my trip, show you what sort of people I meet and adventures I get into. Come along for the ride. Everyone told me that things were different now, that strangers just couldn't be trusted. But I didn't want to believe that, so I set out to prove them wrong. What I discovered changed my life. Now I travel the world, mapping kindness. The key to catching a ride is finding the right spot to stick out your thumb. The right spot should have 3 characteristics. Number 1, you must be visible to the drivers. This means no hitching in the dark or around tight corners. Number 2, the car should be traveling at 50 miles per hour or less. Not only is this safer for the driver to pull over, but it also gives them more time to think about picking you up. Finally, there must be room for a vehicle to pull over, or you certainly won't be getting a ride anytime soon.
When our generation, me and my wife's generation, when we grew up, you were held accountable for your actions. What you did, what you didn't do.
Right.
And so it was different, and there's more people in the world today, so it's dog eat dog world.
It is. It really is.
I mean, you don't realize it until you really get out there and you start living in the real world.
Yeah. People are going to try to screw you over.
That's a mild understatement. That's just saying it nicely.
Yeah.
No, it's a dog eat dog world. If you don't stand up and fight for what's yours and what's right, you're going to get walked on and get taken over. You got to have family come first, and then you worry about everything else later. Do what you can to help your family out and take care of your family. And then everything else usually falls into place as it's supposed to.
Yeah.
And I'm of the belief that everything happens for a reason. I don't have to know the reason, I don't have to understand the reason, I don't even have to agree with the reason. But everything happens for a reason.
Thank you. Again, I appreciate it. Enjoy Missouri. See ya. I just got dropped off in Fair Grove, Missouri. The guy you saw in the semi-truck, his name was Vern, and he was there with his wife and his dog. Really good people. They drove me a couple 100 miles. I'm just really outside of Springfield, Missouri right now, so I'm well in the Ozarks. We had a wonderful discussion with each other. He's a very nice guy, big heart. And we just had developed a really great trust with each other. And I just enjoy meeting these type of people. And he told me stories about traveling all over the United States in his truck and his simple philosophy on life and how he gets by and makes a living and lives his life. And that's what it's all about. So I'm here in Fair Grove. I'm about to get on Highway 125. Many people are interested in how long I have to wait to get rides. The truth is, it varies quite a bit. I have waited for hours in the same spot. I have had to hike hours just to find a better spot. However, I have also gotten rides without even asking, simply because I look like I could use one. In this case, I only had to wait but 5 minutes before this kind woman named Barbara stopped. Hello.
Where you heading?
To Bradleyville?
I'm going to Fair Grove.
I thought that was Fair Grove.
It was, I'm back going the other way.
How much further?
Toward Buffalo, Marshfield.
Do you know any miles? How many miles that would be? How many minutes? No? Do you mind if I look at my map real quick? Okay. What would you say is like the most important thing you've learned?
Take care of yourself.
Take care of your health and stuff.
Take care of me. Okay, I'm going to let you. I'm right here.
That's perfect. What'd you say your name was?
Barbara.
Barbara.
Johnson.
Barbara. Well, my name's Justin.
You can go here and buy stuff. You can go to the truck stores and truck stuff.
Perfect. You've been such a great help.
Well, thank you, and I'm glad to meet you.
It's a pleasure.
Be careful, Dad.
I will.
Well, I am.
Thank you so much. God bless you. I'm here in Stratford, Missouri, right on the historic Route 66. I got dropped off of here by Barbara Johnson. She drove a minivan, had 2 chihuahuas, really nice person, just like my grandma. Now I'm hitching all the way to Mark Twain National Forest to get to the Glade Top Trail, one of the most beautiful and scenic places in Missouri. Let's hope my luck is good and I get a ride and a really interesting person. I often get asked if I ever run into trouble with law enforcement while I'm on the road. I've had interactions with them on several occasions. It usually goes something like this. How you doing?
Where are you?
Good.
Where are you trying to get to?
Down to Mark Twain? Yeah. This goes down to Bradleyville, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got a long ways to go.
Is it really that far?
Yeah, you're talking probably at least 25, 30 miles.
It's not very long.
Are you walking it? You gonna drive it, or what are you gonna do?
I'm hitching.
Hitching?
Yeah.
They really frown upon it in the state for people hitchhiking.
Why is that?
They don't like people doing it. It's just a safety issue for people.
Okay.
So I can probably give you a ride just out of my town if you want.
Okay.
Do you have an ID on you or anything with you?
Yeah, sure.
I'll check here real quick, but that's just a stamp sheet. I don't mind to help you out a little bit.
Cool.
Where do you live at? In Columbia?
Yep.
You doing this for like a trip, or what are you doing? Just
I do this a lot. Been to like Seattle, New York City, did Europe. I've never had any dangerous issues. I usually just meet like super nice people and get to see.
There's a good place, and you're in a good part of the state.
Yeah.
It's just really fun. Let me check real quick, bud, and I'll get you right out now.
Okay. Sweet. I might be in the back of a police car, but I'm not headed down to the station. Instead, I'm getting a free ride 15 miles closer to my destination. Many people assume that hitchhiking is illegal. Most of the time, if you know what you're doing, it isn't. This doesn't stop law enforcement, however, from stopping and seeing what's going on. They will almost always ask for your ID to make sure you aren't on the run and don't have any warrants out for your arrest. It's best to treat these people like wild animals. Keep your distance and don't make any sudden movements. Usually, if you are respectful and polite, they will leave you alone or even offer to take you further on down the road, as happened to be the case this day. think it'll hurt anything right here.
Don't bother me. Don't bother me.
No. Okay.
I'm Clive.
I'm Justin.
Nice to meet you.
Good to meet you too. So you never picked up anybody before?
I've never picked anybody up. My mom and dad, you know, they used to do it all the time. But I never do it. I don't know. Just don't.
So why'd you choose to take a chance with me?
I don't know. I guess you're out here close to my house. It's just been one of those days, and there you go, man.
Cool, man. I appreciate it, dude.
I'll tell you what, I got some stuff to do at home, and if you want to fuck around for a while, I'll take the rest of it.
Okay, how long you gotta...
Not very long. I got to unload some stuff and just do a few things.
Sure.
But I'll take you down there.
That'd be awesome. Wow.
Hey, come on, Dave.
When I talk to people about my hitchhiking experiences, their first reaction is to tell me how dangerous it is. What they fail to realize is that, while there is some inherent danger involved, it is many times more likely that I meet a lifelong friend than a serial killer. Here is someone that I have just met, and he has already offered to take me to his house and then to drive me all the way to my next destination, even though he wasn't originally planning to go there. It has happened to me many times, and I'll never forget each one. Even in the few minutes that we are together, a type of bond is formed that is very strong. If your senses are in tune, you can tell whether a person has good intentions or not. I use this intention to avoid dangerous situations and to open up to kind-hearted people. Clive is one of those kind-hearted people that one is lucky to meet. During the hour we spent together, we were able to trade stories and philosophies on life, both listening to each other without judging. It was pretty remarkable. At first we were strangers, but in the end, we were strangers no more. Just a few seconds after Clive dropped me off at the start of the Glaytop Trail, a pickup truck drove by and I immediately waved them down. I love the feeling I get from riding in the back of a pickup truck. There's really nothing better. When I went up to the window and spoke to the two men inside, I could tell that something was out of place. They were definitely country folk and they had a deer rifle in the cab, but that wasn't it. Only later did I learn that they had definitely been drinking beer for some time before they picked me up. While this can turn into a very dangerous situation, especially when riding in the bed of a pickup truck, I decided to take my chances, primarily because we were deep in the countryside and weren't traveling very far or very fast. I probably should have been more careful, but life isn't always about playing it safe. Sometimes you have to live dangerously. In the end, everything turned out fine. Both of the men were very nice. They even drove me up the road a few miles to a campsite where I could spend the night and introduced me to some people who were already staying there. Gotta love that Ozark hospitality. here at the Hercules Glade Wilderness Area in the Mark Twain National Forest. Luckily for me, the two fellows who picked me up on the Glade Top Trail yesterday knew about this spot just down the road. It's an official camp spot, and I was able to spend the night here. They also gave me some other insight into some of the things I could do here at this spot that was really cool, and let me have some of the really great views that I showed you earlier. And that's one of the benefits of hitchhiking, is that usually you get picked up by local people and they have a really intimate knowledge about the area, and they're able to teach you and show you things that normally you would never know about. And that's what I do this for. So I spent last night here. I was plenty warm. It's actually one of the warmer days here this fall, and these sort of remote locations are some of the more difficult places to get rides, because you're not at a major juncture. You're just at like a camp spot on a country road. So it's a Sunday morning. There's not going to be a lot of traffic. I will be here as long as it takes to get a ride to a small town or city that I can continue on my journey and get home. So I just had one car pass me. They were fellow campers about my age, and they stopped real close to me, didn't roll down the window. They saw that I had my thumb out, and they just chose to go on. And it kind of breaks your heart a little bit to see guys that you could probably be really good friends with, that you probably have a lot in common with, your age, and they're just not willing to help you out at all, or even ask what's going on or anything, you know. So who knows their situation, but I'm going to keep trying and hopefully have some luck here. I'll keep you all tuned. I don't normally do this, start hiking out from one of my spots, but this is one of those rare occasions where it's probably the smartest thing to do. Hardly getting any traffic here on this road. Sunday morning. It's pretty tough. So I got out the map, and I'm calculating that I've got about 5 miles to walk, which right now sounds kind of long, but you know, I'm thinking probably in an hour or two or more I'll get to where the next town is, and I'll have better luck hitching from there. And you know, along the way while I'm walking, I can keep my eye out for cars, and I can still continue to hitch. So all is not lost. So main thing is to stay positive. And you know what? Right now I'm hiking through some of the most beautiful scenery I've been in. I've been a lot of places, and this is my home state, so I'm just real proud of it. And I'm just taking a walk through the Ozarks, you know, during the peak color change of the fall season. I can't complain about that. Yeah. If I had any good sense about me, I would have never gotten in the van with Clovis and Nathan. Here I was, getting picked up in the middle of nowhere by two scruffy-looking guys. Inside the van, there were bullets in the console, a cooler of cold beer between the seats, and a gas can in the back. Even more worrisome was the fact that the side door did not work, meaning that I would have had no possible escape had I needed one. I was incredibly vulnerable, but I took the ride because I was equally as desperate. Luckily, Clovis and Nathan turned out to be two really nice guys who even shared a beer with me that Sunday morning. It just goes to show that first impressions aren't everything, and that many people are kind-hearted when given the chance. Normally I don't actually go to the interstate itself to hitchhike because the cars are simply going way too fast. 70 plus miles an hour usually, and people don't have the amount of time to look at you and really think about whether or not they want to pick up a hitchhiker. And usually there's also not very much space to pull over. It's also much more illegal. So I try not to hitchhike on interstates themselves, usually the on-ramps, but today I just don't have any other options. You can see there's an on-ramp behind me right here, and it's kind of strange because these two highways kind of run close to each other before turning off. So anyone who takes this highway or takes this exit would have to be retarded because they could have cut their time in half by taking a shortcut up there. So no one's on this exit ramp or this on-ramp, and so I have no other choice really but to get on the interstate. And that's what I'm gonna do, and it's not impossible. And I'll probably get a ride before a cop shows up, and someone will be nice and slow their car to a full stop after going over 70 miles an hour. So that's what I'm hoping for, and we'll see how it goes. I ended up waiting only 15 minutes before Ryan pulled over. He had just finished dropping his kids off with their mother and was heading to his house only 15 minutes from my final destination. Score. I would have gone anywhere with Ryan though, because he was that cool. We connected immediately and had one long mind-expanding conversation all the way back. He shared with me the hard-earned lessons from his life and how his philosophy evolved from the time he was a seminary student in college to his discovery of philosophy and beyond. Our conversation was so profound that it made me wonder, what if I had taken a different route home? What if someone else had stopped to pick me up? What if I had arrived 15 minutes later? I'm not sure if Ryan and I were destined to meet or if our encounter was sheer coincidence, but it was certainly very special. He even drove me all the way home. Thanks, Ryan.